What's up YouTube, Jason here with Bite My Bits. Today I bring you an unboxing and review of the Sony FDR AX100 4K camcorder. And yes, I'm using it to shoot this video, so feel free to bump up the resolution right about now. I know my videos have been in short supply in the last couple weeks, but it's hard to really rationalize putting a lot of effort into a video when you know that you have a huge upgrade on the way. Which brings me to my new 4K camera. At the time of this purchase, the Sony FDR AX100 cost $1,700. Throw in the needed UHS Class 3 SDXC card, a couple of high-capacity batteries, and a few miscellaneous accessories, and you get a $2,000 4K upgrade. Before I give you my thoughts on it though, let's do a quick unboxing. When you first open it up, you're greeted with an array of boring yet useful instruction manuals, accessory options, warranty information, and a free copy of Sony's Movie Studio Platinum. The manual comes in a few different languages and seem pretty easy to use. Diving in deeper, we find the remote control that gives you basic control over your recording, but it also does offer playback and navigation options for when you want to watch your videos directly off of your camcorder onto your TV. You get this basic power brick that charges your battery and can power the device. Sony also includes a 1960 mAh battery, but I should note that aftermarket batteries are pretty cheap and can offer much more power. You also get a very sturdy lens hood that is a must-have for protecting your lens from daily usage. It snaps on easy and locks in place, providing excellent protection. Next up is the cable that connects to your power brick, and then an HDMI to mini HDMI cable that's used for viewing directly on your TV. Hidden just a little bit under the AX100, we find a USB extension cable that looks to give you about 2 or 3 feet of extra length to connect your camcorder to your PC. They do this because the USB connection is hardwired on the side of the camcorder, and it tucks away into the hand strap while you're not using it. And finally, we have the main attraction. Featuring a 1-inch sensor, the AX100 offers 4K resolution, 5.1 surround sound, built-in ND filters that automatically kick in when needed, and 12 times optical zoom with a 20 megapixel sensor. On the side, you get a 3.5-inch high-contrast OLED screen that automatically turns the device on and off when opened. Behind it you see quick buttons for manual options like white balance and night shooting, while under it you see more options to control the iris, ISO, and shutter speed. With an f-stop range of 2.8 to 11 paired with the 1-inch sensor, this camcorder has been reviewed as one of the better low-light performing options within the prosumer price range. You can hook up a microphone and headphones, but I'll cover more on that in a bit. On the top you see the 5.1 surround sound microphone that offers a directional stereo option. Be aware that this thing is pretty sensitive and it will pick up a lot of ambient noise. On the right you have a button to quickly access the focus magnifier, which helps you check to see if you're in focus by zooming up on the image. Then moving to the back of the hand strap, we see the USB cable tucked away that's used for connecting your camcorder to your computer. On the rear, you see the areas for your battery and power connection along with the record button and filter controls. This is where you can use the built-in ND filters manually if you decide to. The battery connects to the device simply by sliding it into place, just like this. After flipping the screen and taking off the lens cap, you are basically ready to start filming with all of the settings set to automatic. I should also note here that if you do need to use additional filters, this lens is a 62mm lens. The 3.5-inch screen is nice and vivid with a decent viewing angle, and when I took it outside in the sun, it was still fairly easy to see. It has touchscreen and does gather fingerprints pretty quick. I'd recommend bringing a microfiber cloth and just keeping it on hand. Now let's dive into my thoughts on the camera and what I feel are the pros and cons. But first, why did I choose a camcorder over a DSLR? Well, this is a heavily debated topic and it really just boils down to somebody's personal preference. I chose the camcorder route because aside from my primary use of shooting YouTube videos, I will also be shooting some fast-paced events. I will rely on a lot of the auto features with the AX100 when moving between different environments. Yes, I know that you could probably get better artsy shots from a DSLR, but at this point, my lack of experience in doing so is heavily supported by the automatic controls. And with the 1-inch sensor, I still get a good depth of field with decent low-light performance. Let's start with that actually. The AX100 offers good depth of field to give you those nice blurry background shots. I found that this is best used with the autofocus turned off. Reason being is that the autofocus feature can at sometimes be a little too touchy and slow to correct. This can actually ruin some of the most basics of shots, like panning around the room, for example. You don't see this that often though in well-lit environments. But I still turn it off though when I'm shooting these types of videos when I'm standing in one spot but my hands are still moving around. As for the low light performance, the AX100 is rated as one of the top performers at this price range. In a regular low light environment, it actually does pretty good. I decided to go ahead and step it up a bit though and record this floor standing speaker that was barely lit up at all. The only light that was coming in was from a window across the room. My goal here was to see how much grain it has and how much better I can make it by using the manual controls. In the end, I could lower the grain amount a little just by sacrificing some brightness, but I would still need to clean it up a little bit in editing. So performance was definitely not on a professional level, but fairly decent for the price. One thing that you give up when you go with this large of a sensor is image stabilization. It does have a built-in digital stabilizer, but it performs poorly in comparison to Sony's other options with smaller sensors and hardware stabilizers. As I walked around recording the mess I made in the last couple days, I could really see this start to stand out. Again, you can clean this up a little in post, but it would be nice just to have a cleaner image right from the start. Moving outside, this thing really starts to shine. The auto ND filters save time by kicking in automatically when you need it. I was even able to get some good shots of the clouds with the built-in optical zoom. Going back to the focus thing though, it seems to really struggle when you are completely zoomed in. Looking at the clouds, I found it to be constantly readjusting itself and trying to find focus. Good thing is though, is that when I pointed it almost directly at the sun, which was behind some clouds, it switched ND filters smoothly without any noticeable steps in brightness. Trying to find anything nearby with color in it, I end up landing on these yellow weeds. Unfortunately though, the grass below it is actually this color of mild green. Even zooming up on the weeds produced a solid, clear image. Speaking of zoom, the 12 times optical zoom really lets you reach across something and still maintain a great image. I was able to look all the way across the pond with no loss of quality. Please forgive the horrible tripod bouncing. After all, I spent all the money I had on a camera. After doing a couple shadow test shots, I found that it still maintained a really good contrast. Everything from the shady side of a tree to the inside of my house still being clear even with a really bright light source in the same frame. But what about audio? Well, this is actually the reason I was forced to spend more money on an audio upgrade. Not saying that's bad, I mean, I drastically needed one anyways, but I feel that I should still cover what I found. First off, the microphone input on this thing does not play well with external mics. When I plugged in my long-used, albeit cheap clip-on mic, it played hell with my audio. Even after I purchased a high-end mic and external recorder, it didn't even like the low-power line out source from that device. With the added noise, the audio was just unusable, but that's okay because now I have a separate audio recorder and I don't need to use it anyways. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a nice upgrade to your YouTube videos with some good options for other uses, the FDR AX100 from Sony might be a good solution for you. It offers a fair price for the performance, but it does have a few drawbacks. You're going to want to spend some time figuring out the focus a bit before you try to get those vital shots and end up messing something up. And you definitely need to find a better solution for audio. Also, you might want to look at additional stabilization options because on its own, the AX100 will only disappoint you. I did get my hands on a GlideCam HD2000 though, so expect a video on that showing the benefits it can offer. As always guys, if you found this video useful, please click the like button below. And if you want to hear more in the future, don't forget to subscribe.